Imagine paying six figures for a car and then being told you had to stand in line a year to get it. Oh, and by the way, it has only 2 seats, no trunk to speak of, and gets 14 miles to the gallon. You might think a company like that wouldn't last, but Lamborghini of Italy celebrates its 50th anniversary this year, 50 years of creating the world's most exotic supercars, and 50 years of dodging bankruptcy. No, a car company like that wouldn't last.
Ready to go.
But then, Lamborghini never was a car company. It's a builder of fantasies. You don't realize how overused the word breathtaking is until something actually takes your breath away.
Wow.
If you open aggressive the throttle, you have 570 horsepower.
Oh, magnificent.
Lamborghini test driver Mario Fascinetto finds the limits in the cars.
More.
Though this time on Bologna's Imola racetrack, the limits belong to the driver.
Go close to the curb, and then let's run out.
Not to the 200-mile-an-hour, $200,000 Lamborghini Gallardo.
Brake, more.
I'm not making you nervous, am I?
No.
Maybe he's calm because this is the least expensive Lamborghini. There's a $400,000 car and a $4 million car. But before we see those, have a look at how much road Lamborghini has put between its cars of today and their humble beginnings. The creator, the late Ferruccio Lamborghini, was a wealthy builder of tractors, the John Deere of Italy. Morley Safer met him in our first story on Lamborghini in 1987. Mr. Lamborghini collected Ferraris, but he found the clutches weak. The story goes he complained to Enzo Ferrari, who said, "Stick to tractors. I'll build the cars." In Italy, insult is the mother of invention. Lamborghini sought to teach Ferrari a lesson with lavish interiors, brawling V12 engines, and style like nothing else. The namesake loves Spain's traditional sport, so each model is named for famous bulls. The latest beast to bolt into the ring is the Aventador.
The transmission has 3 settings. It has road, sport, and race.
Race, you have to set race.
I'm not sure everybody should select race on this car.
We didn't race through northern Italy because of traffic and because our jet helicopter with our camera can fly only 170 miles an hour. The Aventador will do 217. 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. While 700 horsepower propels you forward, the Aventador will set you back between $400,000 and $500,000.
Are we still on the right road for Lamborghini?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Next roundabout on the left.
We're coming into the town of Sant'Agata in what Italians call Motor Valley.
This is the original factory.
Yes, there is just one Lamborghini, the original.
The original factory floor is thoroughly modern now. It's spotless, seems to be a point of pride in that. Even the floors are squeaky clean. But it's also an old-fashioned place, where hands know the feel of a bolt properly torqued, and eyes judge each pane perfectly placed.
So here we are doing the interior.
Rainieri Nicoli is the industrial director.
You know what I didn't see on your assembly line that I see on every automotive assembly
Tell me.
line? Robots.
No way. Clear. No way. No. All the Lamborghini are done by people, Italian people from Sant'Agata. This is our value. No way for robots.
Ford builds about 23,000 vehicles a day. Lamborghini builds 11, each purchased a year in advance, each unique.
How many colors do you offer?
Whatever you want.
Any color I want?
Yeah, basically we try to fulfill all the requests of our customer.
I can walk in with my favorite tie.
Or with the bag of your wife, yes.
Has any woman ever matched the car to her handbag?
Yes, it happens.
No, really.
Yeah, really, it's funny. We see here pink cars or strange color, really.
The customer is king.
Yes, of course.
As we walked the plant with Nicolai, we were struck by a sharp division of labor.
Nearly everyone on this assembly line is a man. But if you go over to where the interior is done, nearly everyone is a woman.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I can tell you this. We really need women on the interior because the precision that the women has, unfortunately, we as a man, we don't have.
We don't have the precision.
Not the precision and the manuality to create a masterpiece like our interior.
The car is male on the outside and female on the inside.
Let's say like this, yeah, it could be.
These don't look like any other car on the road. Something that makes you smile.
The guy with the proud father look is Filippo Perini, the chief designer in charge of the look of Lamborghini.
When we were driving the Aventador today on the road, there was a truck, and the passenger in the truck turned around to take a picture of the car.
They want to take our picture.
Why does that happen?
Because we are in Italy. People love beautiful cars.
Perini runs this shop where designers who love beautiful cars take their inspiration, we're told, from the contours of insects and fighter planes.
Do you ever design something and show it to the engineers, and the engineers say, we can't build that?
Yeah, it happened always like this. The driver, steering wheel.
When we asked Perini for Lamborghini's DNA, he drew a single arc.
That is a Lamborghini line.
This is really a Lamborghini line. This is our own way to produce car. This line
An uninterrupted line from front to rear.
It is very beautiful, and it is completely impractical.
Yes,
There
it
is no trunk.
No, we have a good trunk in the front.
No, all right. Yeah, but if you want your golf clubs, you're going to have another car.
No, I think that with a car like this, we don't have time to do to do golf.
You won't want to play golf because you'll be driving your car.
Yes.
One thing that could fit in there are Lamborghini's profits. In the $400,000 car business, any recession slams on the brakes. Mr. Lamborghini and a series of owners have lost fortunes. That began to change in 1998 when Volkswagen bought the company under its Audi brand. At a race in England, Lamborghini CEO Stefan Winkelmann told us the company has been making money now since 2006. One of the selling points, in addition to style and speed, is the sound. Engineers labor over the growl. You can tell that a Lamborghini is coming before you ever see it.
And there's been a draw.
In a showroom in New York, we asked Chief Operating Officer Michael Locke the most important question a buyer can ask.
What's wrong with it?
What's wrong with it? I think if I were to be critical, I would say that we need to do a very good job of managing the perception of our brand. We want to make sure that Lamborghini is seen as a friendly brand.
After the Great Recession, especially this soon after the Great Recession, you want to make sure your driver's not scorned.
No, indeed. I think that's very important.
Locke told us that even though the company is profitable thanks to German discipline, the car still has to be sold the Italian way.
You're trying to seduce people.
Indeed.
With this car, because that's the only way you can get somebody to write a $400,000 check.
Seduction is certainly an important part of that process, yes.
They have to be just a little bit irrational about this purchase.
They have to be a little romantic, certainly.
What's the difference?
You'd have to be hopelessly romantic and maybe embarrassingly rich to join Lamborghini's 50th anniversary party last spring. 350 owners shipped their raging bulls from all around the world for a 10-city, 5-day sprint through Italy. It looks like we sped these pictures up, but of course we didn't. An Italian road can really look like this when the steering is as precise as Leonardo da Vinci and the brakes have the stopping power of Sophia Loren. How do you get all this past the highway patrol? Build them a Lamborghini. Nearly every model from every era filled the piazzas to be blessed, fussed over, photographed, and admired as part of the national heritage. No two alike, each crafted as a matter of taste. Even this was an offer Lamborghini couldn't refuse. The rally ended with a coming out party for a new car named for a bull that murdered a matador. Lamborghini built only 4 Venenos, 1 for itself and 3 that sold for $4 million each.
Who buys that?
Very few people. And the most difficult thing to manage in the process of selling those cars was having a palatable story for the 6 or 7 who we couldn't get a car for.
You had to tell them why they couldn't buy a $4 million car.
I had to explain that we had a very limited production available on these cars.
How many of the 3 Veneno buyers bought the car sight unseen?
All 3 of them.
The golden anniversary party ended with opera and fireworks, as all Italian celebrations must. With 5 decades in the rearview mirror, Lamborghini is still exploring the limits of the science of engineering and the art of irrational romance.
If there is one consuming passion in this country, it is with cars. If there is one consuming passion in Italy, it is with cars. If there is truly a dream car to satisfy those passions, the name it bears is this, Lamborghini. Being a dream, it is, of course, utterly impractical. Price about $120,000, space, 2 seats, no trunk. If this story looks like a commercial, well, no harm done. They can only make about 300 a year, and you might have to wait 2 years to get one. A vineyard in central Italy. A 70-year-old gentleman farmer who still gets a thrill from tending his own vines. The end of another day. Time to put away the tractor and let the other thrills begin. His name is Ferruccio Lamborghini. The tractor he was driving was a Lamborghini. The car he is driving is a Lamborghini. The speed he is going is pure Lamborghini. Signor Lamborghini no longer owns the company that bears his name. It was lost to a business group after he ran into financial difficulties. But he is the father of this model. He got into the car business in 1963, having become dissatisfied with the best of Italian high-performance cars. Watch this red one perform, and you will understand why he is now satisfied. We do not advise anyone to drive at these speeds on public roads. Valentino Balboni, the test driver, is licensed to do it and does it brilliantly.
Brakes are just something.
The company does not have a test track. Our cars are built for the road, it says.
It's a thrilling ride, I must say.
The broken lines fly by like tracer bullets, or get eaten up like some supersonic Pac-Man. This is no special effect. This is 180 miles an hour.
You find it relaxing?
Yes, yes. With this car, yes.
16 years ago, Lamborghini, with a team of engineers, designed and began to build his ultimate road car. It remains today the fastest production car available. 180, even 195 miles an hour. And about the most expensive, about $120,000. When it was unveiled in the early 70s, it had no name, but a local reporter took one look and said, Countach, which translates loosely as holy cow, and the name stuck. Some vital statistics for the true car fanatic. The engine has 12 cylinders, each of them with 4 valves. It develops almost 500 horsepower. The rear tires are almost 14 inches wide. The brakes are enormous vented discs that are to stopping what those 12 cylinders are to moving. The gearbox has 5 speeds. You would normally shift into 5th at about 140 miles an hour. And from a standing start to 30 seconds later, you are closer to 200 miles an hour than to 100 miles an hour. The Lamborghini factory in Sant'Agata is, despite the futuristic look of the car, an oasis of old-fashioned artisanship. The Countach barely uses any bought-in, subcontracted parts. Everything from engine block to gearbox is made right here, and most things made by hand, just like a good suit. There are no robots, only people who began their careers as teenage apprentices. The place is as clean as a surgery, and the machine as thoroughly tested as a fighter plane. All of which means that peak production is 3 cars a week. The waiting list for one is more than a year. Is this the Lamborghini Countach for everyone, for every driver, for everyone who can afford it?
No, I think it's a special car for special people.
Daniela Adetto is the marketing director for the Countach. Is there such a thing as a typical Lamborghini purchaser, a typical owner?
Yes, very large ego, because if you're shy, you cannot go around with this car. It's like to go out in the evening with a beautiful woman. Not everybody can afford, not because they don't have enough money or because they have enough power, but because they are not the type that like to go out with a very beautiful woman. Because, you know, this white car is like a beautiful virgin. If you see the red, it's like a mature woman. If you see the black one, it's like an intriguing woman, you know?
What are its weaknesses?
The weakness is that it's not a very comfortable car, of course. You cannot go with baggages, etc. You must have another car, like a Rolls Royce, that follow you with a chauffeur and arrive the day later, the day after, with all the baggages. And of course, you cannot go with children. Or you must have only a beautiful woman, and that's it.
Even now, 16 years after it was launched, it still regularly makes the covers of the motoring magazines. Probably the most written about car ever built, possibly overwritten about. For example, devastatingly defiant in looks. Just light the fuse and keep steering. Uncompromisingly arrogant. Another writer says, like tasting beer for the first time or losing one's virginity, seeing a Countach is an experience never forgotten. Another writer, here we are talking about the brutal throb of a predator, the same that vibrates in a cheetah waiting to pounce on a gazelle. It is hard to find anyone to question the value of the Countach. Even David Davis, editor and publisher of Automobile Magazine and one of America's toughest car critics, is smitten. It's probably overpriced.
Yeah, Hemingway said that pheasant shooting was worth whatever you had to pay for it, and I think that's probably true with Lamborghini driving, too.
There's no trunk space.
None whatsoever.
The
and what trunk space there is immensely hot. It would not be a place to carry a box of chocolates.
Why do people buy it?
Well, it's the ultimate sort of outlaw statement, isn't it? It's in a time when, you know, we've got the Center for Automotive Safety and all of those people on one side and the Baptists on the other trying to sort of corral us and make us behave the way we're supposed to. You can very quickly establish yourself as being somewhere else just by parking one of those in front of your house. It's a car that would just frighten you to death if you had the slightest doubt of your ability to drive it. I mean, to suddenly you have somebody throw you the keys and say, would you mind driving my car home, and walk out into a dark parking lot and see this thing sort of glowering at you, you would call a taxi, you'd do almost anything, bring in an airlift, but you certainly wouldn't want to jump into it and drive it. The whole idea, the whole environment that's created by that car on a given stretch of road is just, that's another matter altogether. You can't accomplish that in a Buick Roadmaster.
As you may have already noticed, this car is not for everyone. The doors are a wondrous piece of engineering, but getting in can require a certain degree of agility. The windows open to mere slits through which you can't even toss a token into a toll booth. As for the rear window, if you can call it that, forget reversing without the aid of someone to direct you, or do what the test drivers do. Heads up, bottoms out. If you can live without those little compromises to comfort and safety, and have the cash, you might just fall in love with this little number. One writer says, it is not what the Countach can do for you that counts, but what it does to others. That is certainly true. Anywhere the Countach goes, it stops traffic dead. Even right here in Sant'Agata, where the car is built, the presence of one is an event.
Costa di meno, costerà 250. Ma perché aprite?
Or the streets of Manhattan, even the most jaded people on earth stop and gawk with respect and envy and awe.
I love this car, man. I love this car.
And misinformation.
Oh shit, you got a jacuzzi in the back.
Yeah? You see that red button over there? It says eject. But you eject the other way, you know, for you.
Yo, fellas, anybody want to take a ride? The keys are in it. Oh, the guy must not know New York too well, man, to be leaving keys in the back. He can do that, man.
It is the toy for the man who has everything. So, of course, the man who does have everything, the millionaire publisher, balloonist, oldest and richest Hell's Angel on earth, Malcolm Forbes, has one. How do New Yorkers respond to it when you bring it into town?
They respond the same way you and I would if we saw one. They stop, they whistle. Cars pull up beside you, and whether they're in a Cadillac or an old pickup truck, they whistle. They roll the window down. They say,
"What's the name of this car?"
How much? You know, and you go by and you get a toot from other cars, and they give you the sign. Isn't it great? Everybody shares enthusiasm for the car. People don't resent it like they do, say, a stretch limousine. It takes 10 minutes to get around the corner, and the tinted dark glasses, all, you know, all the crap. There's nothing junky about this. There's nothing put on about it. It's pure.
I firmly believe that everyone who is worth anything at all should own a 12-cylinder car before they die, because there's nothing else like it. It's just one of the great operatic experiences of all time. It's a real noise, and there's nothing else like it. It'll take your breath away.
This machine makes no practical sense whatsoever, but it's more than just status symbol. Not a jewel to be stroked and admired, it's a tool to be used, and when properly used, it connects the driver to a great Italian tradition of technology and design. It brings out the Italian in us. Now another of our so-called golden oldies. When this story about Rolls Royce cars was first broadcast 9 years ago, we said the cheapest Rolls sold for $24,000, the most expensive for $50,000. Here's what inflation has done. The cheapest is now $85,000 and the most expensive $156,000. But enough talk of money. This story is about quality, and this is the way we began it back in November 1971. Rolls Royce is the longest lasting and the last of the great handmade cars. Hispano-Suiza, Duesenberg, Packard, Isotta Fraschini, all of them dead. But Rolls survives, more old ones on the road than new ones. One of the few things in life that is not built for the junkyard. The statistics bear this out in a remarkable way. In the 67 years since Sir Henry Royce built his first motor car, only 65,000 have been built. Of those, 30,000 are still on the road in daily use. In its best week, the Rolls plants produce 53 cars, just over 2,000 a year. GM make 21,000 cars in a single day. It's a difference in philosophy. Henry Ford wanted to put the world on his wheels. Henry Royce wanted to build the world's best car, one at a time.
All of us know the frustration of Willie Loman, the tragic hero of Arthur Miller's play Death of a Salesman. Once in my life, he said, I would like to own something outright before it's broken. I'm always in a race with the junkyard. I just finished paying for the car and it's on its last legs. They time those things. They time them so when you finally paid for them, they're used up. Willie was right, you know, and this will soon be the fate of the car you're driving today. The trouble really is that nothing these days is built to last. And the motor car best represents the fact that we live most of our lives in the junk society. Our durables are not very durable.
But when something is built by hand, out of materials given by nature, old-fashioned pride is maintained. A throwback to the principle of the one-horse shay, the schoolboy poem by Oliver Wendell Holmes. So the deacon inquired of the village folk where he could find the strongest oak that couldn't be split, nor bent, nor broke. That was for spokes and floors and sills. He sent for lancewood to make the thills. The crossbars were ash from the straightest trees, the panels of whitewood that cuts like cheese but lasts like iron for things like these. Step and prop iron, bolt and screw, spring, tire, axle, and linchpin too. Steel of the finest, bright and blue. Thoroughbrace, bison skin, thick and wide. Boot, top, dasher, from tough old hide found in the pit when the tanner died. That was the way he put her through.
There, said the deacon, now she'll do.
At the Rolls Royce factories in London and Crewe, the same philosophy is maintained. The car division of Rolls was saved from the bankruptcy that faced the Rolls-Royce airplane engine complex. So it's built today in the same painstaking way, engineering always taking first place over styling. The car seems almost too well made. The cheapest car they make costs $24,000, and you can pay as much as $50,000 for one. And you wonder, is it all really necessary, all that care? The test beds look more like an incubator ward than a production line. Every 100th engine is pulled to pieces. A piece of every crankshaft is snipped off and is filed away with the number and pedigree of the car it was built for. It is the atmosphere of a cottage industry, local craftsmen doing what they know best. The salaries at Rolls are slightly lower than those in the big automotive plants, but the tyranny of machines does not exist here. They say that the car has a personality, and the men who build it have managed to keep their own. Is this the perfect car?
Well, I would say it is, yes. But why I say that is I've been at it all my life, 48 years. Naturally, it's varied slightly in those period of years. I mean, it used to be all timber at one time. Now we're getting a piece of timber and metal.
Well, what's the difference between this and the stamped-out car?
Well, the stamped-out car is just a stamped-out car, isn't it? I mean, anybody can build them.
And how long does a door like this take to make?
Well, it comes to me assembled like that, and I have to hang it and lock it put the frames in, it takes me 5 days. That's each side. So that's 10 days for the complete job, you see.
And then once it's all done and you see it drive out the back of...
Well, I feel rather proud at times, actually.
How would you like to work in one of the big auto plants and run a machine that simply punched out one of those doors every 10 seconds?
I think it would bore me within 2 or 3 hours, I think. I'd sooner use my hands and make it myself.
The youngest of the craftsmen at Rolls is the managing director. David Plastow was only 38 when Rolls-Royce engines went bankrupt. He has managed to keep the car division out of the hands of the receiver. What about this car costs $24,000? What makes it cost that much money?
The amount of time that we spend making the pieces after we've selected the very best materials. And in that context, you know, we make a lot of our own nuts and bolts, because in that way we can check the material before we make the nuts and bolts. It's probably a very good example. And then we take a lot of time inspecting at the various stages of assembly, and eventually when the car is put together we test it extensively as well. And the whole gestation period is something like 3 or 4 months from the time that we issue an instruction to our workshops to build a car. And that's a very expensive process. And to get our cars quite significantly better than these very good American cars costs a great deal of money.
Rolls-Royce produced their Little Red Book long before Chairman Mao thought of his. But there is something about the language and the tone of voice that give the two a great deal in common. The book is the Rolls-Royce Chauffeur's Guide. Just listen to some of this. Under deportment. Never drive with your arm on the windowsill, even when alone. You will not have full control of the car in an emergency, and it looks untidy. Under personal appearance. A chauffeur must always present a smart appearance in full uniform and should wear a white shirt and collar, a black tie and black shoes. Leather gloves must be worn when driving, and your cap at all times. When driving members of the royal family, see royalty. Passenger comfort. It is your duty to ensure your passengers arrive safely and ready to conduct their business in a pleasant state of mind. Let there be no doubt in their opinion that this is the best car in the world. After completing the course and after a 3-year trial period of driving, the chauffeur receives the most coveted prize in Rolls-Roycery, the sterling silver cap badge. There is something about a Rolls-Royce that is undisputably British. The style of the car changes every 10 years. And all these cars are at least 12, some of them 15 years old. But there is nothing dated about them. It's said that owning a Rolls changes the attitude of the owner. He begins to care about how he drives and how the car is looked after. One reason why the Rolls lasts so long. Letting the car down is somehow unpatriotic, and the familiar complaint about depreciation by new car owners can hardly be applied to the Rolls. John Gordon, a London used car dealer.
A very strong possibility with certain cars already of the post-war era that they have appreciated, certainly are. We would say that a Silver Cloud 1 today, we are selling for more or less the same sort of price we were 3 years ago.
How long do you think a Rolls is meant to last when it's built?
Well, this one's 1934, so this has lasted for, you know, 36, 37 years, and is going to last for another 36 or 37 years, one can say without any fear of contradiction.
One reason why Mr. Gordon's 37-year-old car will last so long is that Rolls-Royce is a British institution with an almost mythical tradition. In the bowels of the factory, 2 men who are the very pillars of the institution. Quigley, spare parts, trimming, records. From Quigley, you can get a connecting rod for a 1910 Silver Ghost, and from trimming, the complete engineering history of every car ever built. Mr. Trimming, we've done a little bit of research of our own. We found that the longest continuous owner of the same Rolls-Royce is a Miss Overend of Dublin, who bought her car in 1926, and the chassis number is GMJ52. Do you think you could find that for us?
Oh, the record there. Look.
Suit.
That's it.
Miss
Miss Overend, and delivered on the 9th of June 1927.
We went to Dublin and found her. She is named Letitia Overend. She is 91 and has been driving the car steadily since the day she bought it in 1927. Miss Overend and her mother ventured from Dublin to London to make the purchase. At first they looked at a Bentley, but decided on a Rolls because a Rolls could be started with a crank. Miss Overend would not have a car that could not be started by hand. She stopped cranking this one every day when she was 87 on doctor's orders.
Miss Overend, you've had this car for 45 years now.
Yes, 44, yes.
Are you a satisfied customer?
Absolutely. I wouldn't change it for anything.
Did you never feel like trading it in on a new one?
I never did, indeed. I wouldn't lose it for anything.
What do you think of the new Rolls Royce, of the new Silver Shadow?
You're disappointed in the new
Oh,
car?
well, I do very much. And they've lowered the bonnet. It's not half as dignified. And they have, the engine looks to me as if someone without much knowledge had taken a lot of components and just thrown them together. And you could not maintain it yourself. Too complicated.
The new Rolls Royce sent many old Rolls fanciers into shock. They said it looked like nothing more than something out of Detroit in the 50s, with the fins cut off. They felt that Rolls had finally fallen victim to the fickle hands of modernity. Too many gimmicks, they cried.
I think automatic is an excellent thing for people with some disability. But if you had the use of your arms and legs and hands, I don't see what you want, because the interest of driving is doing these things.
Your car is almost 45 years old now. How do you service it?
I service myself, all together myself. There are about 30 greasers, each of which takes 5 actions of your hand. I do the greasing. Always started up till about 4 years ago when I got bad flu, and the doctor wouldn't let me start it by hand after that, because it was quite bad. I'm all right now, but I started by the starter. But there's this handle.
Crank handle.
For cranking it, yes. I think it's a wonderful thing. I think you should treat it as you would an animal or a person. Have sympathy with it and understanding of it, and help it along. I couldn't imagine a Rolls owner neglecting their car. Now look at that leather. That's the original, it's real leather. Now look at that, that's 44 years there. Never renewed. Isn't that good? You should be proud of being able to have the fruit of a man's brain that can produce a thing like this. That's the way I look at it.
You've been driving now?
Since 1919. Count that. 52 years.
2 years.
First was a Ford, second-hand Ford, very good. Second was a Hillman, 2-seater, very good. Third was a Talbot.
Talbot.
And this one. And this has seen me out.
And indeed it did. Letitia Overend died a few years ago. The car, however, is still going strong.
The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines lowrider as a customized car with a chassis that has been lowered so that it narrowly clears the ground. Lowrider also is used to describe the person driving such a vehicle, and both car and driver have long been potent cultural symbols, especially among Mexican Americans. In the 1980s and 90s, many cities passed anti-cruising ordinances because police departments and the public often saw lowriders as menacing, connected to drugs and gangs. It's taken decades, but that perception is finally changing, and nowhere is the transformation more pronounced than in the lowrider hotbed of northern New Mexico.
The ride will be a little bit rough.
That's okay.
That's what hydraulics is.
But we look cool.
Yeah.
On Good Friday, 2024, we're cruising down Riverside Drive in Espanola, New Mexico, with Epi Martinez and his family in his 1953 Chevy Bel Air, his pride and joy.
You gotta have your siren.
Gotta have your siren.
He's been cruising this road in this vintage car since he was a kid with his dad at the wheel. And Good Friday has long been the day for local lowriders.
This is the grand opening of spring, you know, so everybody looks forward. As you can see today, oh my God, you're gonna, it's blow my mind. Definitely.
Martinez is leading a candy-colored caravan of cars from his Viejitos Car Club. That's old men in Spanish. Española calls itself the lowrider capital of the world. And on Good Friday, the Viejitos were joined by lowriders from many other local car clubs for a chrome and tail fin celebration of their culture. Some were shining up and staying put to be admired, while others showed off the crazy hydraulic gymnastics lowriders are known for. Yo! Among New Mexico's lowriders, Epi Martinez is known as the man who makes cars do that.
So people come to you
Yes, yes.
to have the hydraulics put in their cars.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How many have you done?
Oh, I've done over 500, probably.
The hydraulics in his own precious 53 Bel Air are fairly modest.
We got ourselves here something not too much. I got a 2-pump setup. It's mostly aircraft.
This is aircraft technology.
Exactly, but
in this old car.
Exactly.
Those hydraulic pumps, designed to operate aircraft flaps and landing gear, are controlled by switches at the driver's seat.
See? So that's all it really does. It doesn't go too much because, I don't want to hurt it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Over the years, Martinez has installed hydraulics that seem guaranteed to hurt cars, turning them into what lowriders call hoppers, that drew competitors and crowds to this Española parking lot on Good Friday.
Look at that!
To see who could jump highest. Whether they hopped to the sky or sat ever so low to the ground, each lowrider we saw that day seemed to say, "Here I am."
It's an expression of who you are, so it's kind of an extension of your personality.
Delubina and Eric Montoya were there with their 1947 Chevrolet Fleetmaster convertible.
It's sleek, it's classic, it's beautiful. It's kind of me.
It's round, it's shapy, it's shiny.
I see it's me.
Lowriders are all about that, right? They're the car amongst cars. They're going to be the one that pops.
Patricia Trujillo is an Española native, a college professor, and Deputy Cabinet Secretary of New Mexico's Department of Higher Education. She told us the roots of the lowrider culture here stretch back to just after World War II.
You had many Mexican Americans going into the Army and then coming back and still being treated as second-class citizens. And so a lot of those people basically created this counterculture to be able to speak back and say, we belong here too. It's almost like a saunter or a swagger in vehicle form, right?
It's sort of like embracing the Americanness, the car culture.
Yes.
But making it your own and saying, I'm part of America, but I'm not part of this mainstream. I'm doing my own thing here.
Yeah, and we are our own thing.
So low and slow instead of fast and furious.
Yes, absolutely.
These are Buicks and Pontiacs and Chevys from the glory days of Detroit. Customized with elaborate interiors, intricate engraving, and kaleidoscopic colors in the paint jobs. The over-the-top style isn't for everyone, but these cars are all labors of love, whether do-it-yourself jobs or those restored by professionals for tens of thousands of dollars.
This ends up about 100 coats of material when it's all said and done.
100 coats of paint.
100 coats of paint.
Rob Vanderslice is a legendary painter from Albuquerque and a rare gringo in New Mexico's lowrider world.
Why not utilize the tape where you end up with a nice little point through the middle?
Famous for using tape and spray paint to lay down layers of different colors, as he demonstrates in weekly YouTube tutorials.
We're talking hours and hours, and it just is a beautiful breakup of like a darker orange, a medium orange, and then a light orange. It's kind of a fan of colors.
Vanderslice started painting lowriders in the late 1980s, That's just about when gangster rap artists popularized the cars in music videos. That contributed to a public impression of lowriders as connected to gangs and drugs.
Back in the day, were most of your clients involved with gangs and drugs?
Back then, I did a car for just about every gang you could think, you know what I mean?
Vanderslice himself had a years-long addiction to crystal meth while he was making a name for himself painting all those cars.
Congratulations on being clean.
Thank you.
How
Thank
long?
you.
How long?
13 years clean now.
How'd you do it?
Got in trouble. I'm a 3-time convicted felon, and the last time I just said, you know what, I'm done.
His personal rehabilitation parallels the path traveled by New Mexico's lowriders. Counterculture rebels turned gangsters, now steadily rolling into the mainstream.
So you have gone from painting cars for gangs to painting cars for the Albuquerque Police Department.
Right, right.
That's a big leap.
Yeah, that's a huge leap.
In the lowrider's leap, Patricia Trujillo remembers a particular pivot.
In the plaza in Santa Fe, lowriding had been banned for many years.
Santa Fe is the capital of New Mexico and its artistic center. So when the city's mayor not only dropped the ban on cruising, but declared a lowrider day in 2016, Trujillo says cars slow rolled in by the hundreds.
There was this real shift in culture in that moment of recognizing lowriders as an important part of our heritage, an important part of the artistry of our communities. And I really feel like that marked a new moment in New Mexico.
So we're all a family.
Joanne and Arthur Medina, everyone calls him Lolo, personify the morphing of lowriders' image in the Espanola Valley. She was in junior high school when they met more than 40 years ago.
As we were driving into Espanola, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at that car. And then I was like, look at the guy in it. I told my aunt.
Was his car better than everybody else's car?
We don't like to compete with people,
okay.
but
it stood out more.
It stood out more, a lot more. You can see it from miles.
That car is still in a makeshift museum full of lowriders outside their home, with a few in the yard awaiting makeovers. Lolo's masterpiece, covered front, back, and sides with murals depicting the life of Jesus, was being repainted the day we were there.
Is your car making a statement?
Yes.
Yes.
And what's that statement?
It's our fishing net.
Wherever we take our cars, people are drawn to his artwork. People are drawn to what we've done to the cars and who we are, and people know us from all over.
So it draws people in.
It draws people.
But if drawing attention was once the only goal, they're now using that attention to help kids and serve their community.
Words now, we're saying family, community, faith. In the past, words associated with lowriders were gangs, drugs, and crime.
Yes, that's very true.
What changed?
I think what changed in a big way is that we started being out more in the community to kind of volunteer.
We're always here to encourage.
Yes.
We're always here to help.
We saw a need for the homeless, and I said, okay, let's do a coat drive and a clothing drive. Man, we got 5 huge truckloads of jackets and clothes and shoes.
Is it almost as simple as the original lowriders have just grown out of their rebellious ways?
I wouldn't say they've grown out of rebellion. I think that they've redefined it.
So what's the definition of rebellion now?
Rebellion now is healing, to be that beacon of hope, right?
Espanola needs hope. With rates of poverty, crime, and drug addiction well above state and national averages, despair is part of the landscape.
A lot of our kids are from broken homes.
Ben Sandoval is director of the YMCA Teen Center in Espanola.
There's drugs, there's bad influences. What we try to do through the Teen Center is to provide them a safe place.
In 2023, Sandoval got a grant from the DEA, yes, the Drug Enforcement Administration, for a project to build lowrider bicycles.
How does that help? with the at-risk kids?
First of all, it gives them an opportunity to say, hey, I got to get to the teen center after school every Wednesday. They have to feel that they're valued and their role as the engineer, as the designer, as the planner, they do it all.
The finished bikes were so creative, so impressive, the prestigious Museum of Spanish Colonial Art in Santa Fe mounted a special exhibition to put them on display.
It really is quite beautiful art
Thank you.
These kids have created.
It's remarkable. It was just this vibrant buzz of happiness in the room during the opening.
Yeah, the kids hadn't seen them like this before.
No, never. And I'd sit back with 3 or 4 youth and I'd say, look at that. They're taking pictures of your bike. That's what you did.
Car shows now feature lowrider bicycles with trophies for the best. Same for kids with radio-controlled cars that tilt and bounce. And the fanciest car shows rival any museum display.
Now when you see cruises, it literally can feel like a moving art exhibit, right? As you're watching it go by.
A moving art exhibit. That's
Yes.
pretty good.
Joanne Medina's artwork is a glittering Grand Prix. She and Lolo loved showing it off for us on an afternoon cruise in the hills above Espanola.
All cars have a different style when you're cruising them.
This one, I have to tell you, is eye-catching.
Thank you. That's what I wanted.